Welcome everyone to the second game this weekend between the Canterbury Red Devils and the Auckland Botany Swarm. Yesterday's game was very exciting with a final shootout win to the Swarm. Let's look forward to another exciting game.
Kia ora koutou, welcome everybody to the Alpine Ice Sports and Entertainment Center. My name is Matt Chavez. I'll be bringing you the afternoon's action. It's deja vu all over again. Today's game is round two, if you will, of what was a knockout yesterday. The Botany Swarm in town from Auckland taking on the Canterbury Red Devils. Yesterday's excitement, and I do mean that, was a fantastic game between two very evenly matched teams, with the Swarm coming out getting a single shootout goal out of the five, and that was the difference in the game. 5-4 going to the Swarm, but it really could not have been closer. So as we get going here, we're going to go through the yesterday's stats, which of course if you go to NZIHL.com and Stats Center, Game Center, and then Stats, you can find these as well. And while I'm reading it out, if you guys would do me a favor, those of you that are already here, if you can hit that like button, that will more likely get this game in front of other hockey fans around the world. We always appreciate that. So if you see a little thumbs up sign, no need to subscribe or anything. You do what you want to do. But if you hit the like button, I've been watching the PWHL, and that has worked fantastically for them. So let's do the same thing here. Hit that button and help us get the word out. Yesterday's game, 5-4 was the final. It was 3-1 after one, 3-3 after two. They traded goals, and then just like that, overtime goes by with a 5-on-3, and turns out it worked out for the Swarm. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to go through the stats yet because they're ready to go. This was awfully quick as they had their warm-ups already. And as the lights come up here at the Alpine Ice, everything's, well, they're getting ready with just a couple of checks on the goals on the left side here, and then they're going to get going. So late news, in goal today will be Tim Carey for the Red Devils, and Logan Willis is carrying a little bit of a lower body injury. He'll be out today, but Mason Reese back in the lineup after a served suspension for the Red Devils. So ins, outsies, and off we go. Looks like it'll be Ryan Kane dropping the puck at center ice here. And we are underway very quickly here at the Alpine Ice. 60 minutes to see if we can figure out which team's going to be the better one this afternoon and this weekend. Pass forward, past Polozov, back past Brown. Kozak's going to charge after this, but quickly covered by Carey. Tappan was there first anyways, and the first stoppage of the game. I guess I should get that logo off there. You don't need to see that anymore, right? So, the clock was an issue yesterday. It's not going to be an issue today. That thing is taped up like a cat on a wall pointing at that clock, so hopefully we don't have the same problems yesterday, but 19:40 to go, and you'll be able to see it all day, hopefully, with no problems. And that comes out of the corner. The Red Devils break out, but that's turned over as Bull lost the puck off down the toe. Pass forward up to Esposito, and goes past Hunt. Swarm gain the zone and try to walk this in slowly as they get the defenders switched out. It's turned over, and the Red Devils looking for a long pass up to Esposito. He's going to come in on the left side, and he takes a quick shot, knocked aside with the blocker, but that's his sweet spot, charging up the left side. He made the first goal yesterday doing exactly the same action, and almost got it today. That's going to go up into the zone, 3-on-1. Pass forward to Chris Hunt, and he just dekes the goalie for a 1-0 start. The Red Devils start out early again in just a minute 4. They get one past Connor Parr, who is starting in goal for the Swarm today. Let's see if we got that one coming back here. It's a run up the middle, long pass. And just the sweetest of dekes. Right there, moved Parr right off, and he was in no man's land at that point. So 1-0 the score for the Red Devils. And a face-off as we get started again with Andrew Hay throwing that puck forward. Nichols back there to defend for the Red Devils. Thuler at the point. He chucks it in high. Hand pass down by Nichols, and Nichols just shoves him right out of the zone. Good work there. Meisternock knocking it to the other side of the ice. Hodge sending it back to him. Atwell catches that at the half board on the right side. Sent back, that stays in the zone. Atwell's got it, throws it into the corner. Red Devils holding on to it. I think they're looking for a change, but they're just waiting to break out. And then that's turned over. Long shot in at the point, and a backhand by Dallimore. That comes back out, is kept. No, it is not. Lockie Hodge throws it in, but George Hopkins couldn't hold that in. And the Swarm have the puck and gain the zone. Going up the corner. And that was Polozov, I think. No, Vortnoff, taking a wrister and getting a stop in play after a hectic 2 minutes here. Red Devils on top already, making their mark on this game. Just as they did yesterday, the Swarm certain to come back in momentum spurts as they did yesterday. We'll see how that works out this afternoon. Turned over, but it goes back to Kalinsky. Sorry, Kaluzny. Kaluzny. Where did that come from? Anyway, into the corner. Reese digging at it. Dodwell holding it in. Passed in front. Kind of a dangerous pass in front of the goal there, but Fontaine knocking it out. And Sandoy dumps it forward with Johnson as the backside of the Swarm gets swapped out with new players. Trying to pass it in front. And that goes nowhere. Was that... It's good defense. I think that was Daniel Monk there. And then as that gets to Dodwell, he tries to take a shot, but his slap shot was interrupted with good defense. That gets knocked down by Hunt. Pass back out, up to March. March throws it in, and that's taken away from him by Bull. Bull goes down, loses a blade. And that stays in the corner. Wrapped around the glass. Ruzicka sends it forward to the other corner. Swarm still on it. And to Bull. To tap in. Digging away. That puck almost out, but turned over to March. That's deflected. I think that was Sean Brown with a block there. And a hard hit. Hunt knocks March into the bench door. Could have been dangerous, but that door stayed shut, thankfully. And that puck goes out. Hayden Bull with a little bit of a knock. We'll see how that turns out. He's not doing so well. Took one in the face somewhere, and Esposito's going to go charge this down. No icing because he's first there. Connor Parr flips it around. He falls over but gets back up. Or with it. Or trying to get a shot off. Couldn't do it. And that's Polozov up to Thuler as he comes in the right side. Looking for a pass. Can't get a pass off. Somebody's tripped into the boards there, but that was on his own doing. It looks like it was Andy Hay that kind of went head first there. Dallimore flips it in. Dalmato has it. He's harassed, and that puck stays in the offensive zone for a little bit. Thuler gets to it at the Zamboni door, turns it back out, and that's passed out to neutral ice. Meisternock gets it to Dallimore, up to Hodge. Hodge is going to chase that down. Rookie of the year trying to get a hold of this one. He's digging away at it. Gets a shot. That was a pretty good shot by Kaluzny as that comes in front, and he just was strangely unguarded there. Attempting a 5-hole shot. Parr holds on to it for a stop in play. That's the first 5 minutes gone, and it's been very typical of this series so far. High tempo all the way around. Kaluzny with it. Sends it around. Thomas. They're digging it out of the corner here. And Hopkins is going to try to chase this down against Fontaine. Fontaine gets there first, looking for a pass. He snows the boards, holds up, has the puck, circles back. Deflected, shot in by Atwell. That's kicked aside by Carey. And Hopkins sends it around the dash, the kick plate, trying to get it out of the zone, but he can't quite get it all the way out. Sends it back around again in the same spot, but Tim Thomas there. This time Tim turns it over to Fontaine, goes into the corner. And this one's off the board, goes to Simon, but it's at neutral. The Swarm touch up. The Red Devils get off the ice. And Fontaine's going to double back, take a shot. Carey flicks that away, goes off the glass, stays in play. And we play on as McDonald has it. Sends a low one in. That was offside, wouldn't have counted. Hopkins has it. Sends it to Esposito. Hopkins takes a bump into the glass. Esposito loses it, but it gets out of the zone anyways. Goes up to Bull. He can't chase it. Vortenoff with it. To McDonald again. Wrister and up and over Carey. Dangerous bouncing puck, but he stopped it fully there, and it stayed in front of him. Swarm continue the attack. The blocker save by Carey. He knocks that one up just a little bit, but it's just enough to get out of the over the glass to stop play. I'd like to thank Asian Garden Hospitality for their sponsorship this year. Restaurants nationwide, make sure you check them out. Asian Garden Hospitality. Face off in the corner. Hopkinson doesn't get that one. It goes behind the net. Brown sends it around. Esposito back to Brown. Tap in. And Hunt. Red Devils having a little bit of trouble getting out of their back third today. Not quite like they had yesterday, so you can tell the Swarm are trying to play a little bit higher up the ice today, and it's as opposed to yesterday, and it's working for them so far. The adjustment not yet made. Wimmer throwing it in offside. Up to Esposito. He's looking for an outlet pass. He hits a Swarm blade, comes back in, but goes out, and Hay has it as the Swarm touch up. Sent in and around. Good move there by Brown. And that goes up to Hunt. Hunt's looking at it from the left side. He sends it across the crease with nobody home, and that does not stay in. Esposito gets it back to Nichols. Nichols to Bull. Bull leaves it, gets it back at neutral, passes to Esposito. He walks it in, 2 men on him. That puck comes right back out. Sent in offsides. The Red Devils go for a change. Thuler sets up the offense for the Swarm. And now we've kind of hit a bit of a feeling out period as everybody's sort of applying strategy and seeing how things work out. That dump goes to the other side. Meisternock gets there first, but the Swarm cycle it for a moment. Now Dallimore gets it out. Hodge trying to dig at it. It gets away from him. Blocked on the way in after that Swarm slap shot. That goes across and into the... Again, I thought that hit the netting there, but it's not out of play. We continue on. And the Swarm look to break out. Through that lane there, it was pretty well clogged up, but Polizov ends up with the puck anyways. Goes out to the point, turns over to Nichols. Nichols gets it out. Long pass. Dallimore can't chase that one down. It's too far in front of him. Orr has it. Hodge dumps it in. He dumps it in on target. Parr leaves it, and play continues. That pass forward. Kozak taking a shot, and that's held up by Carey with a break. So it's the first 5 minutes being pretty frenetic. The last 4 have been careful traps up and down the ice. And each trap's worked out pretty well so far for the defenses. And now this is going to turn into a stamina check for each of the clubs, as of course they played a game yesterday. They're going to be feeling it today. That puck goes deflecting into the net above the up by the Alpine Ice sign. Another face-off coming. Drop that, and that goes back to the corner. Dan Monk with it. Passes it outside the dot, goes up the boards for a moment, trying to get it to Dodwell. That pass gets knocked backwards, though, and Monk digging at it. Atwell has it now. Hopkins with a good play to get his stick on the ice all the way down, and that stopped the pass, but gets to Ruzicka. Ruzicka low to Fontaine. Fontaine's just going to take a pinball shot. It bounced around, but not the way he was hoping. That goes up to Dodwell. Dodwell is not, he's there enough that there's no icing. That's waved off. Puck continues behind the net. 3 Swarm players behind Connor Parr there. Kaluzny on the forecheck, as is Dodwell. A couple of changes as the Red Devils look to freshen up. Goes back to Brown. Brown holds that as most of the players are changing. Gets it to Tapin. Dumped forward by Hunt. Comes around, takes a shot there. That was Esposito trying to get past Parr. Skates through. That one hit the post in the corner. It may have hit Parr directly in the head. That play was stopped. And I'm not sure if there's a call here or if they're just looking at the actual mount of the goal. Referee indicating no changes there, so I believe it was an equipment issue with the goal itself. The puck did hit the corner, but I think it was pushed off by Parr, so that's why the stop in play. Boy, that puck just bounced like a rubber ball out here. Again, another warm day here in Christchurch. It's supposed to be the first weekend of winter, but it sure doesn't feel like it. Turned over to Esposito, but back to the Swarm. They go 2-on-3. And as that comes in the left side, it skirts by, and Carey doesn't have to do anything with it. But he gets to Brown, then to Tapin. Tapin held up in the far corner. 2 Swarm players on him. High forecheck again. Bull can't get it out. Goes to Johnson. Johnson looked for a pass in the slot, but that just couldn't be knocked home. It was Bortnoff that had the chance. Couldn't do it. Hunt gets blasted into the boards. Doesn't care for it, but we play on. Esposito with it, gives it up. Nichols with a wrister. Parr dropped it for a second, but he puts his glove on it and stops play. Hunt not enjoying that one. He skates by. He has some choice words for the Swarm bench, and they promptly ignore those words, as you would expect. Orr's going to take this face-off with 8:44 to go in the first. Still a 1-0 lead for the Red Devils. That puck goes behind the goal line. Knocked around, and that actually bounces around for the Red Devils for a moment. Dan Nichols swiping at it, keeping it in the zone. Does a great job of flipping it up. Doesn't go out of play. The Swarm catch it. Meisternock collects. Turns. Nichols gets it out of the zone. Orr with it. And Meisternock gets it back. Sends it forward. Rims it around. Dallimore looking for the body check, but it comes back out to Orr. He's got it at neutral ice. Orr holding on to it for a little bit longer. And that goes forward. Meisternock charging on this. He's coming up the left side looking for a shot. And that goes high on Orr, but he knocks it forward, doesn't hold on to it, goes back out to Hodge. Hodge is looking for a long pass. He gets it to Nichols. Nichols dumps it forward. And that's going to give a couple of changes for the Red Devils as the Swarm take over. That puck comes back out to neutral. 3-on-2, 3-on-3. Mortnoff with the, Polozov with the wrister that was off target. It comes around fast for the Devils. 2-on-2. Hodge trying to do something with it. Can't hold on to it there. He's had an extended role this first period, getting more ice time. McDonald trying to get out of the zone. He gets it as far as the linesman. Knocked back to Ruzicka. Ruzicka with it. Kicks it to himself. Long pass and nobody home. Kozak with an easy one here, and he missed. Kozak playing the cherry pick, and it worked. And another shot right in on Carey, and Carey holds on to it. Ruzicka throws that one pretty much under Carey's left arm, but the Devils caught napping and get away with one as Andre Kozak, the wily veteran, if you will, 100 games in all, sitting at that left point waiting for a long pass and nearly pulls it off. So a face-off in the defensive zone coming up. going to be, I think Atwell's taking that one. And Atwell wins it against Bull. Thuler looking forward for a shot. Not deflected anywhere and off target. Bull digs it out, or trying to dig it out. Lots of skates holding that in at the moment. No whistles yet. Still kicking away. Indifference with the referee as they're trying to play it. And it does come out for the Swarm. McDonald rushing the net there as he had a pretty clear runway. Pass in front of the net now, but it goes to Brown and he skates behind the net. And Esposito tips that one out as it was in the air already. And Dan Reason, not quite with a save there, but he picks up the puck and sends it. We'll see if they want it back. Dan taking the day off. He is apparently just fine, even though he took that head knock yesterday. No real problems as it hit his mask from behind. It was a very interesting. It was just a play I don't like, if I'm really honest about it. Taking a shot from the back corner into the goalie helmet, but it went in all the same, and the Swarm needed it in order to complete their victory yesterday. Hopkinson knocking it forward to Johnson. Johnson trying to avoid a hit from Nichols. Doesn't take much of a hit, but loses the puck. Goes back to Simon at the point, though. Hodge trying to play defense there. Tim Carey gets a butt in the face there. Well, if there's ever one for an instant replay, that's got to be it. I've got to see this again myself. But he was backed into, I think that was Sandoy that actually caught it. But, yeah, that's a face full of something you don't need, right, Tim? Here it is as he's saving it, and there's your surprise. Well, no one said goalkeeping was glamorous, but nobody needs that either, right? 1-0 still the score. Let's see if Tim can keep his concentration here, as I'm not sure I could in that situation. Meisternock gets it, rims it around, gets to Simon on the point. And that comes out to Dallimore, to Simon. Simon gets leveled by Dan Nichols. Simon clearly off balance there, and Nichols takes advantage, making it look very easy to lift him and shift him. And that puck is held with a wrister by Parr in order to stop play. And everybody changes. A couple of calls here for Dan Monk getting off the ice. It's another, still trying to get the line changes sorted out between all of the changes that the Red Devils are dealing with. And it's coming right, but a couple of close ones here. They don't want to take a delay. That shot never really makes it on to Tim Carey. And that's, I think that was Hunt getting toppled over, though, but we play on. And that goes out of the zone. Forward shot that is deflected over the crossbar. And that was Ben Lees that took that shot. Puck goes behind the net. And the Swarm look to break out. Passed across the ice to McDonald. McDonald boys featuring yesterday. Interesting stat. 9 goals yesterday. 8 actually. Another shot that was deflected up and it stays in play. Goes back to neutral. Tappan throwing it back in. All 8 in-play goals scored by different players yesterday. Kaluzny with a wrister. That gets knocked aside. Big hit there. Who was that? Was that Mason Reese? It was. Delmato passing it across. Tim Carey getting across the crease. And we hold up because the net came off of its moorings again there. Good to see Mason Reese out there. He's done with his suspension, so he's back on the ice. He and Tim Carey both carried one over from last season with 1 game in, and they are now eligible and contributing players for the Red Devils tonight. Face-off won by the Swarm, shot and held by Carey as Kozak took a wrister hoping for a deflection, but nobody touched it, and we'll do it again. Devils choose to switch 5 players. Nichols, Meisternock, Bull, Esposito, and Hunt out in their top line, looking to get this first period ended well. Just over 4 minutes to go. Meisternock with it. Past Hunt. Dalmato with it. To Simon. He looked up a little early on that pass. Bull chases him down. Esposito trying to get the puck away, but Simon walks out with it. Gains the zone. Simon loses the puck. Rolls around the kick plate. Hunt makes sure that he bodies that one off of Simon. That goes back to Nichols to the half boards and sent out to neutral. Good pass there, just didn't quite connect. Hunt looking for Esposito. Polozov holding on to it. Deflected in front. Carey knocks that aside, and then another good defensive effort by Meisternock getting that out of the crease area quickly. Polozov with it. Polozov to Sandoy. Sandoy with a rip. Hits the glove. Kept out. Carey can't do anything with it. And then there was a wipe away of something. I'm not sure what the referee was seeing or deciding wasn't a thing that he saw. Esposito bringing it in. That was close. He's got it behind the net. Out to tap him, but that pass was a little errant. Bull's got to chase this down. He does. There's no icing, and there's no play by the Red Devils there yet, as he was a little too careful as he went back there. And Brown going after Ruzicka. Let's see, 4 players there for the Red Devils digging it out. Brown gets it, comes in the zone, takes a low shot. That's knocked aside. Big rebound, but it's going to go to the other end of the ice. Hodge is going to collect it. Swarm stay out. It'll be interesting to see how this plays. Still with Ruzicka to McDonald. Atwell walks it in. Low shot. Tim Carey butterflies that one away. And Fontaine holds on to the puck for a little while. Gets it right back. Takes it over the blue line. Takes the shot. Low kick save. Nothing really dangerous there. Just looking for a corner. And there's a stop in play. We're going to see what's going on. That was called by the referee behind the play. So one of the interesting facts today, we did have 2 referees available today. So 2 referees play, and there's an elbow call against Fontaine. The former Red Devil is going to sit for a couple of minutes, and that's going to help the Red Devils close out this first period on the power play. Got that one on replay. I'm not really sure if it's going to be visible here, but we'll see it on the next break if we can. Out to the point, over to Esposito on the left side. He sends it backwards. Great pass. Little bit of a bouncer going to Hunt. In front, Dallimore trying to backhand it. He couldn't get there in time for par. Dallimore holds on to it. The cycle restarts. 4 on the line at the moment. That stays in the zone. Dallimore leaves it to Esposito. He walks it to the right, looking for a pass. Holds up. Goes to the other side. Tap in to Hunt. Hunt holds. Gets it poked away for a moment. Then Esposito gets it. Ethan Esposito looking for a pass there. Sends it into the corner. Dallimore with it. Cycling slowly and patiently. The Red Devils. Long shot in. That goes off the sideboard and kicks out. Esposito's going to hold on to it. Swarm playing that box and not getting too aggressive with it. Allowing for the cycle. And Dallimore holds on to it. The Devils had been pretty okay just sitting around the perimeter there. And taking their time looking for a good option. And Hunt has it. He's going to try to bring it in, and he does. Holds on to it and sets up again with Polozov allowing him some time and space. That goes into the corner with Orr. He loses it. McDonald's got it. They're digging it out. That minute call is actually 19 seconds left. Shot in. Oh, how did Joe Orr miss that? It was a wide open net, but his stick was in the wrong spot. The angle was off. and the best opportunity you could ever imagine goes right on by. Nichols sending it forward, and that's going to end that period with a power play that shockingly does not end in a goal there. 15 seconds are going to carry over, and 1-0 the score. And Dan Nichols having a word with the with the scorers table with a 1 minute call on that one that happened a little bit on the late side, but that's all right. We everything's figured out, and that is going to be the first period. We're going to do a little technical cleanup here, but before we go, I did want to go through the goal scorers yesterday, because they are on the score sheet. Yesterday's goals, Esposito at 338 was unassisted. Jackson Fontaine from Atwell made it 1-1 at 4:54. Liam Dallimore scored yesterday at 9:58, unassisted. And Joe Orr made it 3-1 yesterday, unassisted at 17:34. Marcus McDonald scored in the second period, and Ryan McDonald scored in, let's see, it was 29:37 and 34:09. It's a little dark in here, so sorry if I get the numbers not perfect. And then it was Hunt scoring the fourth one for the Red Devils at 42:28, and Dalmato getting the equalizer, 48-23. And from there on out, it was only the shootout goal that happened after that. So 9 goals in that one. Actually, who was it that shot the... why do I not remember that? Overtime. It's not on the paper. I know somebody scored that one, but I don't want to give it to the wrong person. I think I know who it is, but I'm not going to say just in case I'm wrong. And it was 5-4. So that ends the first period. 1-0 the score for the Red Devils. We're going to go to some commercials, and if the stream, hopefully it doesn't stop in any way, but if it does, just hang on 1 second. We'll come right back. 15 seconds still on the board for that penalty, and we will see you in about, 12 and a half minutes here, give or take, for second period action. It is the Botany Swarm taking on the Red Devils. Red Devils up 1-0. We'll see you soon.
Do you know why I think of good cars after every training session? Because. Because good cars helped me find the perfect car.
Good people, good service, good cars.
Kia ora koutou. Welcome back, everybody, to the Alpine Ice Sports and Entertainment Center. As is tradition at the Red Devils games, the first intermission is the under-12s getting out on the ice. Today we have the players from the Canterbury Ice Hockey Association Under-12 Super League competing during the intermission with the captains in the blue and the Spiders in the red sweaters. And as Kat put it, if you know your Marvel, you know your teams just by the colors, which is pretty good. But if you do have a child that might be interested in giving hockey a try, Canterbury Ice Hockey Association has a Learn to Play program that offers a free trial lesson with gear included for children interested in giving it a go. To learn more, Google the Canterbury Ice Hockey Association, which is at ciha.org.nz for that free session. They'll be wrapping things up here in a little bit. Oh, that's an empty netter. Nicely done. We'll be back with you on air in about 2 minutes to bring you second period action. In the meantime, enjoy the under-12s as they play the old blue puck, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Red Devils Hockey brought to you by Reform Radiology. Exceptional imaging and treatment services for the community. Local team, expert care, reformradiology.co.nz. And by Beely Quarter. Accommodation, function room, plus a bustling restaurant and a bar provide an unrivaled hospitality experience in Christchurch. BeelyQuarter.co.nz. As we return back to the second period here, the juniors getting off the ice. They're the full-size players back at the bench. Just a quick look at the NZIHL standings, not the 23 standings, Michael, correct? It is permanent now, the NZIHL standings, and this one is such an important game to get 3 points out of, to stay above the playoff line for the Red Devils after just their first week and having a couple of games in hand, and the Swarm trying to catch up to the 11 points that the Stampede have put up so far. It's a very close race, as you might expect early in the season, with teams trying to break out of the pack. We'll see how that goes here. A follow-up, 15 seconds to go on the elbowing penalty from Jackson Fontaine at 18-14 in the first period. The goal way back with 1:04 into the game, making it 1-0 for the Red Devils. Chris Hunt with an assist by Dan Nichols. That was the entirety of the action in the first period. So a much quieter first period than we had yesterday. And it has been, well, it's going to be a chance to see if everybody breaks out again, as the feelers are off after the first period. Some neck gear being worked out by Michael Atwell, as is required now by all teams in the league for all ages, which is a great change. And we are underway. Second period action here in the Alpine Ice Sports and Entertainment Center. Fresh ice as Esposito brings it in the zone, but it's flipped right back out. And Tappan collects. Goes across the ice, gets it back. And the Red Devils looking to move forward. They cycle through. Esposito leaves it for Hunt, and that comes in offsides as the puck didn't come in just a little too slow there. And that does end the penalty for Fontaine. He's out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Some discussion over there with Hunt and Fontaine, and Atwell in his ear, which is quite funny. One of the managers, and Hunt takes the puck in after the faceoff, sends a backhand in at Connor Parr, and that's a hold. And we start play again. Another stop in just the first 30 seconds. I said I had that. Let me see if I've got that elbowing call, if I've got time for it. But it happened just off camera there. So anyway, back at it. Face-off goes at Parr, but nobody really hit it there. It just kind of deflected. Sent back in the offensive zone. 2-on-3. Simon and Sandoy. But that's turned over to Hunt and goes into the corner. Back to Tappan at the point. He sends a low one in. That's deflected off of, it looked like Chris Hunt's skate, or boot more specifically, as that gets bounced around and ends up in Parr's glove for a stop. Just does not have the same pace as it did yesterday. Nonetheless, it's just as tight with a 1-goal lead. The Red Devils back out there with their second. Nichols with a low slapper, or with it, trying to jam it home. Hodge jumping after the puck. Parr's a little off kilter there, and he gets reset. Dallimore around the corner, goes over to Polozov. Polozov sends it forward. Kozak gets it up to Ruzicka. Ruzicka's held up. Gets the puck taken off his stick. Out to McDonald. McDonald with a low one. Carey just kicks it away into the corner, and the Swarm try to push that back out. Turned over to Dallimore. Dallimore gets it out to Hodge. Hodge leaves it behind to Orr. Orr's going to fight to keep it, and he gets it pulled off his stick at the last minute there by Polozov. Up to Ruzicka. He lets it go. Meisternock can't hold on to it. Gets it back. Leaves it behind. Kozak with it. Comes in on Carey. Carey doing a good job of just denying a shot. And as that puck goes through the crease harmlessly in this case, Nichols flips it out. They look for an icing. They get it. No deflection called there, but icing is the call, and the 5 players stay out there. That's Hodge, Dallimore, Nichols, and Meisternock. And they're going to need to get off the ice here in a little bit. if they can get that out of the zone. It's Hopkinson to take for the Swarm. Still missing that light over there, which makes it kind of difficult. And that's sent around. Meisternock gets it. That bounces off of Orr as he's trying to pass it out. Not the best way to hit a teammate is in the back. And that puck's held up by the Red Devils, and it goes the length of the ice. No icing here. And they get that change they need. Hopkins, Kaluzny, Reese back out on the ice. Keokuk. And it's Bortnoff sending it forward. Deflected shot, and then a puck in front, and that's a goal. There's going to be some discussion about this, as I believe it was Tim Carey's stick that was upended. I'm not really particularly sure how that happened, but let's take a look as that comes screaming into the other side. Yeah, an interesting way that the puck just seemed to find its way in there, but there's a discussion on the other side, but it's not about the goal. It's going to count, so 1-1 the score. And let's make sure that did I push the button there? I did. Huh. Well, let's make sure that the Swarm get credit here. It's supposed to be working. Anyway, we'll get that back, and we're back underway. And just as quickly, the Swarm go down there after Tim Carey. It gets sent around the corner. They hold on to it. Out to the center. Back to the Swarm. Neutral to March, who sends it back to Sandoy. Sandoy sends it in. Keokuk pushing it to the side. Now I know what's going on here. Hang on, guys. Hang on. There you go. And that's where the problem was. It was stuck on the instant replay. We got that sorted out. Sorry about that. We continue on. Passed up to Hunt. Sandoy gets to it first, then Wimmer. Swarm get it out, and that's Simon taking it in. Takes the shot. Nearly gets misdirected by Tim Carey as he knocks it up and out into the netting. Let's sort that out. It is not 2-1. Hang on. I've got this. There it is. That's why I didn't see the score flip before. It's the simple things in life, really. And just like that, Atwell's got to take this face-off for the Swarm, and the Red Devils a bit on their back heels. 1-1 the score. Another early goal, but this one goes to the Swarm, and everything's evened up, much like yesterday. Puck behind the net. Carey looking for it. Esposito knocking it to a teammate. Gets it to Brown, but Brown can't get it out. Fontaine holds it in at the point. He gets a pass. That pass is deflected. Tapping with it. Gets it out of the zone. The Swarm have to reset. It's to McDonald. He's got it. Flips it forward. Brown with it behind the net. Gets smashed, but gets the puck out. That puck was sitting below Esposito, but he couldn't see the puck because it was in his skates. Tapping with it. And another one, but this one goes a little higher. Goes up to Hunt. That is an offside that was called there. And the entire bench erupted over here by the Red Devils, as you might expect. Let me see if I've got that here. Because that was, just missed it by a little bit. But that was, let's just say it was close. And Kozak getting pushed back. And the face-off happens offsides, from the offsides dot. And Boole has to come back. Nichols takes a shot from the center line, and that gets deflected. Pass comes back out to Kozak. Nichols holds up on skates, and Delmato, and that shot gets the side netting there, as they couldn't get it across in time. Swarm with a good opportunity, but not quite enough to put it home. They hold on to the puck. Kozak has it, leaves it. Orr's on the forecheck. He gets it for a moment. He's got to turn around and race back. Nichols erases him, and Orr collects the puck, gains the zone, takes the wrister. That bounces off Parr. That did look like it hit the net, but we play on. That stays in play officially, and that goes behind the net. Hunt takes the body check, and the Swarm managed to get the puck out. We play on with that little dipsy doodle as well. So a couple of things going both directions. Another player sliding, and that, if I'm not mistaken, that is Ruzicka. Nobody interested in buying what he was doing there. Although he did make a good spin on the backside or with a shot. That wrister knocked aside by Parr. Hunt's helmet comes off. Chris has to come off the ice. And there's a penalty coming up. It looks like it's against the Red Devils, not sure. This is going to be very interesting. I believe they are penalizing Chris Hunt for not coming off the ice immediately when he lost his helmet. And of course, his main complaint is that he didn't take his helmet off by himself, but apparently he did not come off the ice in time, so I think that's an unsportsmanlike conduct if I recall my rules correctly, but that's dubious as ever. So we will just call it 2 minutes on Chris Hunt. Swarm are on the power play, and they're asking for the puck that needs to go into the offensive zone, which they are correct about. They get to pick which spot. They're going to go to the right. And we play with a Swarm power play here as it's 1-1 with just over 14 to go here in the second. Puck left for Fontaine, then it goes back to the blue line. Simon to Fontaine. Fontaine loses it off the blade to Sandoy in the corner. Fontaine. Wrister gets through to Carey. Carey holds on to it. Asian Garden Hospitality, creating memorable dining experiences in an exquisite atmosphere. Restaurants nationwide. Asian Garden Hospitality. Face off in that same far dot. That's Kozak taking it for the Swarm. They win it. Stays out the blue line. Cycling starting. Dodwell playing an aggressive top side on this one. And Carey sees that all the way, holds on to the puck. It's an interesting approach. They've definitely changed the way that they go after the penalty kill this year. The Red Devils a little bit more compact this time around without getting too technical about it. And they're also not stacked up in that box that they would play last year. And so far, the Swarm have had a hard time figuring out how to break it, which is a good sign for the Red Devils this year. Sorting that around, the Swarm get a little loose with the puck. Dallimore trying to chase that down. Meisternock getting behind. Polozov with it. Polozov loses that puck. Esposito takes. He's going to go right up the middle. Shorthanded opportunity. Wrister, and that goes high and up off the glass and flies into the netting on the side there for a stoppage in play. Not only was it a chance at a good shot against Parr, but it's going to kill some time as the faceoff is in the Swarm defense here. Faceoff is set. Polozov wins it, and the Red Devils start walking back a little bit with Dallimore, Meisternock, Nichols, and Esposito out there for the 4 Red Devils. Puck goes out to the blue line. Dallimore aggressively out at that blue line when he gets a chance. And that kind of just gets shuffled into Dalmato. He can't really do anything with it. And Dallimore with a good backhander getting it all the way down. That's going to get the Red Devils out on the ice. Brown, Bull trying to chase a bit of a cherry pick by Polozov. They get there first. They leave it at the blue line. And that puck goes into the side. Tappan is going to get rid of it. Doesn't quite get it far enough. Hopkinson has to clear the zone, which does make them wait a little bit. Dalmato with a shot. He misses wide. Vortinoff with it. Vortinoff pushes it into the corner. Hopkinson leaves it for Vortinoff. Shot. That goes off the Tim Carey's shoulder there. That was a good save, good position. passed forward, and another one that doesn't quite connect with Hunt there. Tap in, digging at Vortnov. Swarm looking to set up again, but they turn it over, immediately gets to Hunt. Reese looking for that outlet pass, and the Red Devils have killed this penalty with some aggressive penalty kill plays, and a 3-on-3 as it comes in the other way. Good defense. That was absolutely necessary. Joe Orr holding up a shot that was a sure goal if he's not there, and Orr skates hard, 150 feet down the ice, gets a backhander, gets it to Parr, and Parr has to hold on to it to slow up play. Futaporo Accountants, not your average accountants. Futaporo take the hassle out of taxes and let you focus on what you do best. Futaporo.co.nz. Face-off coming in that offensive side, left side again. Apparently they don't want to play on this side of the ice this period, so we'll keep doing a little zoom in there. And it gets to Nichols. He sends it forward. Option for Hodge. Hodge scores! Rookie of the year, no more. Season 2, he's got a goal. A fantastic chance for him to go through the line. Not only is he Rookie of the Year, and they're trying to call him Roy. Now let's be fair, if you have an ROY name in hockey, it's supposed to be the WA, so you're the WA of the year, I guess. I don't know. It's the only guy that's got a better handicap in golf on the entire Red Devils team than I do, or some of the coaches. And the kid's a third of my age. Drives me nuts. Super talented, and shows why there. It is 2-1 for the Red Devils. Lockie Hodge with the goal. That goes for icing. That's going to come all the way down. Nobody's really too tired at the moment, but an offensive chance here for the Swarm. And as everybody catches their breath from that excitement, they decide to move it again to that far circle. There is a serious lighting problem over there. I'm not sure what it is, but it is dark at the moment. It's been like that all weekend. I'm not sure what it is, but apologies for that if it's hard to see on the camera. Off to the point, sent flying behind the net. McDonald throws it back in. McDonald looking to just try to get anything started. Wrister knocked away. That was Fontaine. He couldn't really pull the trigger, or it was blocked, not sure which. Goes back to him. Hunt's trying to get it away from him. Goes to McDonald. Ryan McDonald taking a bit of a shoulder there. Fontaine loses it, and that puck goes into the bench, hits Kozak, and it's going to be a face-off. Christchurch Ortho. Expert tailored treatment to get you the smile you want. chchortho.co.nz. Another face-off. This time they're going to bring it over this side because of where it went out. Dalmateau to take this one. That's whistled dead. And Kozak loses an edge. We'll just say that. It's an interesting way of handling. Hip on their shoulder. The Swarm have been playing very smoothly and matter-of-factly yesterday. And now this is the first time we've really seen them get chippy. A couple of skaters knocked over. Kozak looking one-on-one. Tim Carey up to the challenge, right shoulder save. And that puck is bouncing around. Heads up, that's on us. Wowzers. That one nearly hit the trash can over on this side of things after it nearly bounced off the monitor. That's all right. Michael, if you're listening, take a deep breath. No equipment was harmed in this face-off. Another face-off coming. You'll see it. Maybe you'll see it here when they drop the puck. Typically, a referee or linesman will throw the puck down in order to be as fair as possible to put it in play. Look at it bounce. And that time it didn't, but you'll see if it hits the ice, it's bouncing quite heavily. Kozak with it. That's pulled away by Brown for a moment, but Polozov gets it back. Polozov taken down. No, he stays up. Not to Sandoy. Sandoy does not, well, he kept it in, And Carey gloves that as it's a long wrister, and he does a great job just sticking the left arm out there and gloving for a stop. It's another warm one here, about 15 degrees, and you can tell on the ice that the puck just doesn't stay as frozen as it normally would. And vulcanized rubber will bounce if it's warmed up. And that's what you're seeing with a lot of these face-offs. A bit of randomness as it gets dropped and thrown. And there is we play on, but it looks like Vortinoff took a stick in the face and wasn't seen. That was passed away. Theuler with it. He gets it out to Brown. Brown throws it forward. Hay. And then a 2-on-2 breakout for the Swarm. Hopkinson taking a risk, gets in on Tim Carey. He gloves it, sees it pretty easily. Not sure what happened there. We'll have to take a look later, but the Vortinoff is indisposed on the bench at the moment, talking to the physio. He took something, but there was no call, and I don't know whose stick it was or what happened. Atwell having a discussion at the moment. Okay. So Ruzicka is taken off the ice because he's not wearing a neck guard. It'll be interesting to see how this comes out. It looks like. So I'm not sure if anybody's serving time for this. More misdemeanor than felony. But it's another warning, and they, obviously pulled him off the ice for that. But the rule is that everybody has to wear neck guarding for reasons that, if you follow hockey, you'll know why. Referee satisfied, and we play on here as Bull takes that face off. He loses it, goes out to the blue line. Swarm trying to get a shot. Simon sending it into a body, and then it gets sent around, and Sandoy and Simon go to collect. Esposito with the back check. The forecheck, actually. Let me just make sure I say that right. Fontaine with the pass to Atwell. Atwell deflects that up into the netting, and we get another stop in play. This one's going to come out to neutral. 9 minutes to go here, and the Red Devils back on top, which is exactly where they wanted to be in such a tight game. They don't want to be running from behind. That's not their style. Whereas the Swarm are, they're feeling quite comfortable with where they're at. You can tell they're a little annoyed, but that is definitely something they're okay with. And the linesman telling Fontaine to get back in his spot. Everybody trying to jump for an advantage here. Hunt and Fontaine right by the bench. Tight quarters. And that's a good face-off. That's sent forward. Nichols shoots that in. We play on as he hit the deck there for a moment. Knees down, and Hunt collects. That's turned over by Atwell. Atwell with a quick wrister. And it's a good thing that Tim Carey held on to that one. Carey with a good glove save and no rebound, which was ideal given the other Swarm players doing their namesake right around the net. Dalmato, Ruzicka back out there. Kozak, McDonald, and Polozov out there for your 5 for the Swarm. Red Devils win that face-off, get it to Reese around the boards. Knocked down, but in neutral, and the Swarm get reset with Reese. Well, Reese just continually handling it, and McDonald is going to get an interference call. There it is, interference, as he took down Reese once Reese had made the play. And that will cost 2 minutes for the Swarm, and the Red Devils go back on the power play. They're going to take it at the right dot here. And with 8:27 to go, the Red Devils will be looking to do what they did yesterday, which was to build a 3-1 lead. Again, a little bit more patience by the referee staff today, just not quite as hurried, which has given this game an interesting pace to it. I think everybody's about 80% at the moment because of how fast yesterday went. A lot more cerebral game today. Tapping with it at the blue line. And that gets knocked all the way down. Carey's going to handle that puck to make sure that goes back out of the zone. He sends it down. Simon throws it in. Turned around. That's going to come back to Carey. And the Red Devils losing some time here, getting set up on the man advantage. Back and forth we go. It goes to Dallimore. And he's going to look to pass that out. No, he's going to keep it himself as he's not pressured. The Red Devils go in the zone with the puck, and Dallimore gets it on the other side here. And that comes right back out. The Swarm with an excellent defense this time. Dalmato sending it in. Carey gives up a goal. Chris Hunt gets in the way as that puck was being handled. And a shorthanded opportunity as the miscommunication between Hunt and Carey cost the Red Devils their lead during the power play. And that makes it 2-2. This one's all tied up. That'll be interesting because I don't think that was more than a miscommunication, but we'll have to take a look later on. This is still a power play for a minute one. The Red Devils looking to get their lead back now. Not the expected shorty outcome that you would expect, but the shorthanded goal comes. Thankfully, it's not a jailbreak. We don't have that rule here. And the Red Devils trying to get set up. You would think that they were at even strength the way this is going at the moment. The Red Devils doing a lot of chasing on this puck. And Hodge has it. He's going to pass it up to Dodwell. Dodwell loses it. Hodge tags up. And now the Red Devils get another deflected pass. They're just not getting it off the tape quick enough. Sent in. That's a deflection. Hodge is going to collect it for the Red Devils. The Swarm switch teams. And Hodge, his pass is deflected off of Botany. That goes sent in. And Brown's going to collect it with 7 seconds to go on the man advantage. Maybe it'll be a little bit better for the Red Devils to go back out there 5-on-5 as McDonald comes out and the puck happens to be right there for him. Hodge is going to have to hustle to get back. Does a great job. Interrupts the shot that comes in, picks up his stick. That puck's stuck in the corner. Helps out his goaltender there. Nichols collects. Bashed off the glass. They leave that in. That is still onside. Dodwell passes it. That gets out of the zone. Left for Bull. Bull flips it forward. Hodge is going to be there first, but 3 swarm around him. Fontaine checking him. And that puck stays in the corner for just a moment more. Sandoy gets it back to Simon. Sends it to Atwell. They let it through. The Red Devils collect. And Hopkins sits behind the net. Bortnoff goes the wrong way. Keo Cope has it. Back to Hopkins. Hopkins with a long pass. No icing here. That was playable. And Hunt has it. Hunt left it with Orr, but it's the Swarm that come out with it. Keo Cope gets there first. He swats at it, but it's going to be Johnson that has the puck. And that's handled well by Hopkins. Hunt leaves it, doesn't leave the zone yet. Big hit on Keo Cope. I'm not sure what that's. I think that was just out of play. But the physicality definitely picking up. Rizika having another word with the linesman here. Not sure what he's saying, but he's getting his piece in. And Hopkinson's going to take a face-off with just under 5 minutes to go here in the second. 2-2 the score. All knotted up here in Christchurch. And that was a terrible face-off by all accounts. We'll try that one again. And there we go. That puck's dropped. Slap shot in on Carey. Carey gloves it and holds it. Had a clear lane and a clear sight line. Holds on to it. Ruzika's shot kept out, and we do it again. Hopkinson there, and now that we've practiced our face-offs, let's see what happens. Another clean one, but this one does bounce off the ice quite a bit. Hopkinson zips it back in, but he's deflected off, I think it was Sean Brown's skate there, I'm not sure. Picked up by the Red Devils. Kaluzny sends it in. Ouch! Mason Reese taken into the net. And that was, well, we'll take a look at this again. That's a dangerous play. It was Hopkinson and Reese. And let's see what happened there. I think Hopkinson just left Reese in the netting. I mean, there's a discussion going on, but yikes. Let's see what's going on here. Hopkinson is over talking to one of the referees. I don't think anything's going to happen here, but we'll see. 5-on-5 still the case. But one of the referees is having a discussion with one of the linesmen. And nothing's happened yet, so whatever they're talking about, I guess their dinner plans are sorted. And we play on here with 4:39 to go. Orr takes the face off. And another one, Vortnoff trying to run across the line. Another face-off. Not quite what you'd think. That's Hunt grabbing it out of the air. Took a shot. That's deflected on the way in. And Nichols trying to swat it away. He does just in time. The puck stays in the zone for the Swarm. Good play there. Ruzicka taken off the puck. Esposito chasing here past McDonald. That goes back out to Orr. Orr's got it at center. And that's turned over. Johnson with a couple of quick moves there. Ruzicka loses it. And then it's going to come out the right side for the Red Devils. Meisternock loses it. Comes in the zone for the Swarm. 4 players back for the Red Devils, so handled pretty easily. And that's knocked out to neutral. Everybody plays back. Andy Hayes sweeps it back. That's offsides, but the delay is called, and everything's good as everybody tags up. Esposito brings it in, but it's given up to Vortnoff. Sent back to center, and Hunt throws it back in for a moment. Bit of forecheck, and that pays off as that's just ripped in. Meisternock sends it around back to Hunt. Hunt's going to flip and chase. Bulls in on Dalmato quickly. And that puck hits the glass and comes around. Kozak rubbed into the side board there, and that's going to pay off for the Red Devils for Hunt getting it back in the zone. Swarm with it. They're trying to get something going here. It was Kozak looking to wind up. He chose to not do anything with it, and that cost him any opportunity as that's taken all the way down by Brown. Gets back to Parr. Held in. Esposito with it on the half boards. Kicked around, and the Swarm break out with it. It's 1-on-3, 2-on-3 here. Kozak takes the shot. That's deflected by Tappan and goes out of play. 2:31 to go in this second period. Score still 2-2 as the shorthanded goal, that mishap has tied up the game for the Swarm, and the Red Devils fighting to get that lead back here. This will be the advantage to the Swarm in some ways, as this is the first weekend series that the Red Devils are playing. The Swarm are on their 4th game of the season. They've had a weekend series. They've done the Saturday-Sunday thing, or actually I think it was Friday-Saturday in their case. Anyway, that comes in the zone. 2-on-3, that's a penalty coming up. And not sure why that wasn't stopped. Now it's stopped as possession, and a trip is being called. And Lockie Hodge is going to go off for 2 minutes for tripping. 2 minutes and 6 seconds to go. Most of the second period is going to be a power play for the Swarm. And in a dangerous 2 minutes for the Red Devils, we'll see how this period finishes up. A key part of this game's outcome coming up here in the finish of this 2 minute period. Atwell to take it for the Swarm. Kaluzny wins it, but it goes out to the point. Ruzicka takes the big slap shot, hits the glove and bounces over the net. Carey wasn't able to hold on to it, but luckily it kind of flipped over the crossbar. Back to the point, shuffled around. Dodwell a little high there. He almost gets that pass. Big shot coming in again by Ruzicka. This one was dumped by Carey, but he covers up quickly thereafter. Couple of shots, 3 shots already on goal. Kaluzny is being checked. Everything's okay there. And a face-off coming in the zone for the Swarm. Atwell again, no changes. They drop the puck immediately. Ruzicka gets it out at the point. No, it's Polozov with it. Polozov holds it. Back to Ruzicka. Ruzicka with a pass, and that's deflected out with another high defensive effort by the Red Devils going out high to the blue line. Swarm coming around again, setting up. Ruzicka passing, trying to cross the ice as much as possible. Polozov with it. Ruzicka, he gets it across. McDonald sending it around and stays in with Atwell. Atwell holding on to it. And once again, they try to get it across. It's Polozov trying to come in low, which is the way you break that wedge. But it didn't work. Ruzicka with it. Polozov out at the point. Lots of traffic. They get it across the other side of the ice. A long shot, and that one deflects up into the netting. It's a shooting gallery out there at the moment for the Swarm, but for the most part, those shots are coming in a little bit too far away to be effective. And the Red Devils doing a good job of holding them at bay, not allowing them to get close enough to be entirely effective. It's pretty clear that the Swarm want to cross the ice as much as possible. It's probably worked for them before, but thus far, that hasn't been the case this weekend. Shorthanded opportunity. Brown comes out, and Parr comes way out of his net to try to play that. Some good time wasting here by the Red Devils. Dallimore is going to get to Fontaine first. Holds him up for a moment, but the Swarm set up. Everybody backs into their spots. That goes out to the point, up to Simon. Simon walks it in just a bit. That's deflected by Reese off of his shin pad, it looked like. Goes back out to Fontaine. He swings it around. They fight for it behind the net. That goes out to Simon. Simon's going to take a shot. Low wrister and a good play. Carey was backing up in a dangerous position, and it turns out he was able to lunge forward for it just enough to hold up play, and just 0.4 of a second left. So there's going to be a face-off drop and not much more than that as we conclude the second period. I mean, assuming nothing short of a miracle here. And that's that. One last face-off, and we are done with the second period. 2-2 the score. As these teams go off evenly matched once again. They just can't figure out who's better this weekend, it seems like. And once again, we're tied after 2. What we'll do is play yesterday's game highlights for you during the second period, and right after the commercials and everything go through, and we will be back with you in about 14 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube and you've got the full browser thing up there and you've got that thumb pointing up, give it a click. It helps us out, and it'll help share New Zealand ice hockey with the rest of the world. So please do that for us if you can. It'd be much appreciated. And in the meantime, enjoy your break, as I'm sure the players are going to as well. They need it. 2-2 the score here in Christchurch after 2. We'll be back for third period action in 12 minutes. Everything else as we go, but face off, and the season is underway for the Red Devils. In the zone, Brown with it. He surveys, passes it up to Esposito up the left side, charging forward, looking for a pass. Shot and goal! Esposito pays it off first. 1-0 the score with a beautiful roofer over Gerard. Nearly took the Gatorade bottle off the net from about an 80-degree angle, but Fontaine pushes it behind the net. They continue with the puck battles. Atwell in front, and then a pass and a goal. And that was a quick one. Atwell with a very smart pass in front to somebody who was left open. I want to say it was Fontaine. We'll see. Looks like it. Jackson Fontaine coming back to Canterbury. Last night between the Thunder and the Stampede. Lots of goals early in this one. Well, 2 of them so far, but a very fast pace, similar to that one. Shot off the post. Reason had a tiny touch of the glove, and it was enough. Thanks for coming out to see the Red Devils. We all appreciate it. Hockey is best served live, and that's a goal. What a wraparound. That was an easy push away from Gerard there, but turns out that Mr. Dallimore is going to get on the scorecard early. 10 seconds to go. They're going to try to get one more push here. And that goes up to Joe Orr. He's going to take the center, takes the shot, and a goal! He did it! 2 seconds to go on the power play. And apparently Route 1 was the way to go, as Orr goes straight through the middle, and the Swarm looking to push everything to the outside. Forget about the guy with the puck. Joe Orr scores a 3rd goal for the Red Devils. Leg pads of Gerard, and Fontaine pushing hard up the left side. He wins the race against Esposito, and that puck takes out Reason. A bit of a shambles, but it's going to get to Esposito with a chance to get up to Orr. He's got a break, shot, and that's knocked aside, away from the boards. Turns out it's a Red Devil puck. Orr with a good move at the blue line, looking to get it in. He goes past Atwell, bounces out, shot, and Hopkins just missed the target, and that turns around for a breakaway shot, and it's blocker save into the corner. And that pass goes all the way down. Dalmato trying to hold on to it. He passes it, but goes straight out, and that's going to be a breakaway for Hunt. Gerard out a little bit, takes the shot. Gerard in a good spot. Bull's got it. He looks for a pass. That's turned over. Fontaine has it. He's stuck in the corner. Gets a pass out to one of his compatriots in front, and that bounced. That is one of those tricky goals. That was McDonald, and we'll see if we've got this one here. But this shot was, he took the shot off the back of Dan Reason's helmet from behind the goal line. And holds on, keeps his player away. That was Kozak. Held off the shot there. That's an attempt. No goal called here. That is, well, let's take a look. But as that's stuffed in, it looks like maybe the referee lost sight of it. I'm not sure if it actually went in. The lights didn't go off. Polozov, he gets it back from Dalmato. Some cross-checking in the crease area. Polozov with it, passes it, takes the shot, goal! 3-3, the Swarm tie it up. That was Atwell with a across the way. First minute gone by without much of anything going on. Esposito's going to gain the zone. Flipped around. The shot, that is just off the side as that flipped next to the pipe. With it, he wins the face-off to Tappan. Tappan holds. Waits, gives it to Esposito. He walks in, takes a shot, low kick save in front. And that gets behind but doesn't go through, and Dallimore can't quite get a stick on it to knock it home. That gets to neutral. He's going to go in with some speed. 3-on-3. Hunt looking to beat his man. He cuts, carries, and he scores! Chris Hunt! Nobody keeps up with him. He goes right through the crease, goes around, and catches Gerard sleeping a little bit, gets it around his other toe, and scores the goal. Away. Thomas getting up to Dodwell again. Dodwell sending it back. Thomas with a low shot. Just kick safe. Passed. And another one that was close. Dodwell couldn't quite get it behind the the pad to it. Skates, floats a little high, looking for some shooting lanes, as all the Swarm are, and they're pretty well covered up. Fontaine with a low shot. That hit the outside post, and they were digging at it. The Swarm begging for a call that it was behind the line. Back to McDonald. Big slap shot by Ruzicki. It gets deflected in front. Reason digs at it. Polozov with a shot. That's off the post. That gets deflected around. Atwell with it. Ruzicki to Polozov. Polozov in front to Fontaine. Fontaine can't get a hold of it. He one-times it. And that's a goal. Just as we go 5-on-5, McDonald sends one in. It looks like it was deflected on the way in. And that makes it 4-4. The Swarm tie it up. Side. Stays in the zone. Polozov with it. And that's turned over. This is an Esposito breakaway. He's going after the puck. Takes a shot. Goes 5-hole. It's knocked away by Gerard. He goes and collects it. And then the Swarm collect it. Big chance here. Kozak with it. Takes the shot. Hits the upper corner, but the pipe knocks it away. About that, and that one will not go for icing either, as Hopkins goes to collect that in the corner with Dalmato. 2 seconds, 1, and that's the horn. Wow. And we're going to play some overtime hockey here in Christchurch. 4-4, so we're going to get to 5-4 one way or the other here. 3-on-3 hockey, we're underway, and the most important part of 3-on-3 hockey is first possession, and Red Devils have that. Circles. Shot. Reason knocks it away. Another shot. Nobody knows where it's at. And chance. Brown with it. That does get out of the zone, but everybody's out for the Swarm. Fontaine's onside. He's going to get a chance. Shot. And a great save. And a stop. And an incorrect stop. It looks like the referee blew a whistle a little early. Regular period, or the overtime period here. Brown with it. Brown takes a shot. Glove save. Up and over Gerard's net. That's passed forward kind of dangerously. Esposito with it. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Fontaine's going to throw it in the corner, and that's going to run that out. An unfortunate situation for the Red Devils as they were way out in front on manpower. Let's take a look. Once they say it's ready, here we go. Polozov coming in on the attempt. And he scores. Polozov and the Swarm go up 1-0 on the shootout. Player. Great kid. Really enjoy seeing him, and always wish him the best. Esposito for the second option for the Red Devils. Oh, that was very pretty. Had Gerard beat, but hits the post. Here goes Dalmato. Straight up the middle. And tries a little whiffaroo just to see if he could throw off Reason. I don't know that he... Dallimore takes it. Hits the post. And off he goes, coming up the right side. Great move. And an even better save by Dan Reason here for the Red Devils. And he must score here to continue. Or comes up the left. Comes around. And he misses. That's it for the Swarm. 1-0 the shootout. 5-4 the final for the visitors.
Do you know why I think of good cars after every training session? Because. Because good cars helped me find the perfect car.
Good people, good service, good cars.
Kia ora koutou katoa. Welcome back, everybody, to the Alpine Ice Sports and Entertainment Center. My name is Matt Chavez. We're bringing you third period action coming up here between the Botany Swarm and we have a little bit of a camera issue here, don't we? Tell you what, we're going to go back to, in 1 second here, I'm going to go back to commercials for just a moment.
Do you know why I think of good cars after every training session? Because. Because good cars helped me find the perfect car.
Good people, good service, good cars.
Okay, that should handle everything for the stream. That's what you get for playing with camera settings during the intermission. It's a really bad idea. With that said, third period action about to start. We'll just do a quick moment of updating. The goal for the Swarm to make it 1-1, Hunt and Johnson, then Ryan McDonald Hodge, and then Lachlan Hodge from I think that was unassisted. We'll get right back to it because we're underway. Hunt with it. They're going to swing it backwards. Esposito. Back to Hunt. And the Red Devils are on the Hunt at the moment. Some offense. That goes back out to Brown. Brown touches it. There's no icing here. He's got to chase this down. He gets there first. But it was Dalmato. Then back to Polozov. Kozak with it. Sends it forward. Dalmato trying to get a hold of it. He can't. Clean ice, and things are moving a little faster here, of course. Or with it. He gets there. He's got it in the corner. And that puck rolls off Esposito. That's sent in by Nichols. That gets deflected by Parr. That's held in for a moment. Swarm having a bit of a time getting out, but Atwell's got it. Up to Polozov. Polozov comes up the right side. Sends it back to Atwell. He can't do anything with it. The defenders change for the Swarm, and the Red Devils get the puck out. Atwell chases the puck down from behind. Everybody goes for a spill, but Orr has it. Tries to send it in, but that catches a linesman. Hunt now has it. Up to Orr. It's in his skates. Shoots! And Parr holds on to it in a weird sequence. Let's take a look at that one just because, I mean, that was all sorts of weird, let's be honest. And once that comes in off the skates, moves forward, bounces forward, and then finally a shot. So there you go. The face-off coming in after a discussion here. One of the linesmen's having a discussion with a referee, and the other linesman's come over. Don't know what this is about at all. This has been there've been a lot of discussions today. Yesterday was very interesting. There was a one referee system. She was excellent. And now we have a two referee system, and just a lot of discussion today. It's probably been necessary, but it's been awkward. Shot by Dallimore. His wrists are not quite getting too far past Parr, and that goes into the corner. Swarm trying to get out of their own zone. Bull up on the forecheck. That's going to go out to Atwell. Passes to Fontaine. Fontaine holds on to it, gains the zone. It was close to taking himself off sides there, but he holds on to it just long enough. Adept blade on the ice. That gets passed up to Bull. Bull and Hodge coming in 2-on-2. Bull holds on to it, takes the wrist that's deflected. Hodge gets thrown into the boards there as he's trying to play the puck off of Hopkinson, and then that one goes out of play as Nichols hits that just a little bit too high. Face-off Coming out to neutral, I think, and I think they just sorted out some netting. It's kind of interesting. Whenever you see the netting messed with at the red line on the other side, you think somebody's going to go. And in this case, they were just trying to make sure that it was being handled. The linesman being very careful to make sure that the players behind or to his back are far enough back. And that puck goes to Reese. Reese is trying to get a backhand on. He can't get a full shot off. Fueler in the way. That puck goes up in the air. Swarm come down with it. Hay takes it across the line. And Monk gets the puck for a moment. A sweeping shot. Carey was ready for it as that wraparound attempt falls on a lot of padding there. And that goes over to Hopkins and Dodwell. Hopkinson for the Swarm sending it back. Comes around. And as they search for it, Hopkinson was in the slot and had a lot of room. It was well defended. Well, that was another good opportunity for the Swarm. Still 2-2 the score. We are all locked up, and that has been a theme of the weekend. Tight games. Dalmato to take this face-off against Hunt. That puck dropped and goes to the corner. Brown knocks it around. Sorry, that was Orr, and that goes over the corner and around to the half boards. Kozak sends it across to Simon. And now Brown. Forward again. Swarm take it, send it deep. They wanted the icing on the bench there, but they're not going to get it. Kozak has it. He's ready to step forward, but he loses an edge, goes into the board there. Brown pushes it back. Swarm continue with it, though. Polizov, then a shot low from Kozak. Didn't hit the right pinball pins there, and then that goes directly forward to Hunt. Then it's a pass forward to Orr missing that one. He hit the shot. It hit a pad low and then bounced kindly behind the crossbar, and now we're going to start seeing some speed here. Dalmato coming up with some pace. And this is more akin to what we were seeing yesterday, up and down the ice. Dalmato to go collect it. Muzica just circling around. And again, looking for that cross-ice pass to break up the Red Devils' defense, but not getting anybody on the other side again. Knocked away by Esposito. Flipped up to Hunt, and that goes all the way to Parr. He just knocks it aside. Devils go for a change. Hodge up on the forecheck. Nichols can't come in because he's off sides. And that one's flipped up and hits netting, and a stop in play with 15:36 to go here in Christchurch. It is a very evenly matched hockey game again. This one's going to center ice. Nobody willing to, well, at least so far, really charge the offensive side. They've been, nobody's really taken more than a three-man rush. And it's been very careful defense today. I think both teams were worried about what happened to them yesterday, and it shows. But here's Fontaine coming in with some speed. He knocks that sideways. I'm not sure if Carey got a hold of that one or not, but it was into the glass. Meisternak fights that one off. Low shot in. That does not get to Carey. Fontaine with it again. He's trying to get the puck in the slot in front, and he's stuck behind the net. He gets erased out of the play. Meisternak with it. Good play there. And that was an interesting physical battle there. And now there's a penalty. It'll be interesting to see how this one gets adjudicated. It is on the Red Devils. Let's see if we've got that on replay as we go through. Currently a man advantage as there's a delayed penalty coming up against the Red Devils. 6 Swarm players on the ice, and there is. It's Simon's kind of a little bit back and to the right. Atwell comes in, and that should, well, not yet. There's the possession that we were looking for. and that's going to stop play. Let me go ahead and see if I got any bit of this, where the arm actually went up. Can't tell. There's the call. And 2 minutes are on the board for a Swarm power play. I'm honestly not sure what happened as far as the actual call. Sure it's a trip, but I'm not sure who it was. We'll get that info for you here in just a moment. They're going to call Lachlan Hodge for interference in that case. Shot, no goal there. That was behind Carey, but it hit the post and came backwards. No light, no goal, no anything. It just looked close. And the Red Devils are back on the penalty kill. Swarm looking for a change. Kozak going out to join the offensive attempt here. Lots more bodies hitting the ice this third period. It's been a bit more physical than the second period was, but that might be more of the correct bench. A stick goes flying. We on another penalty coming up. And it is on the Swarm this time. This will clean it up. 1 minute away on that. Let's see if there is anything worth seeing on this. Dalmato's going to go. Yeah, I'm not sure I could pick anything up off that replay, but Dalmato's going off for 2 minutes. And as you can tell, there's about a minute difference between the power plays. So we're going to go 4-on-4 for a little while. The Red Devils putting Hunt, Esposito, Meisternock, and Nichols out. And I think it's the Fontaine line for the Swarm with Atwell, Simon, and Sandoy. And a big hit by Dan Nichols there. Just absolutely shouldered the guy. But there was a stop, and I'm not sure what for. And apparently they played the face-off in the wrong spot. No, that's not it. There it is. If you take a look at the goal over there, they are putting that thing back on the pegs again. And that's why the stop in play. But nonetheless, Dan Nichols, your shoulder's going to hurt a little bit, but not as much as the other guy. We'll just say that. Nice shot there, Mr. Assistant Captain. And the face-off won by Hunt, but Fontaine jumps through. And this 4-on-4 will be an interesting one to see whether the Red Devils choose to be aggressive during the 4-on-4 or if they wait for their man advantage. 41 seconds to find that out. Long pass forward to Nichols into the corner. He gets pinned in by Simon, and a big hit there by Simon in the back of Meisternock. And then that goes out of play. There is a roughing call going here, so yep, it is going to be for that hit. Simon taking that shot on Meisternock right in the back there, and that's going to cost him 2 minutes. So the math on this starts to get more interesting. So it's currently a 4-on-3. Tappan and Esposito are going to be out there. Hunt, and they drop the puck. 4-on-3. Again, Tappan is going to try to take that one there. It goes, let's see, Esposito is looking for it. No, it goes past him and goes all the way down. You can see all of the sudden clock movements there, but it's going to go 5-on-3 in 10 seconds as the Red Devils go back to full strength. Esposito brings it in, leaves it for Hunt. Hunt passes it across the way. They're going to choose to take Hodge off and put Orr in. Esposito with it. Best chance the Red Devils are going to have to get this lead back. Leave for Esposito is a little off the mark. That stays in. Hunt leaves it to the corner, but nobody at the point. Esposito charges it back, sends it back to Hunt. He sends it around the ice. And that goes to the middle to Orr. He's careful to not hand pass that. And it finally does go out of the zone. 30 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Esposito with it for just a minute. Polozov collects it. That's going to cost them a lot of time. He directly puts that out, but he's not in the defensive zone, so that is not a problem. And the Red Devils need to get their power play sorted out here quickly, as the 5 on the ice are going to face 3 defenders for 20 seconds, and then 5-on-4 for another 34 after that. This is a vital chance for them to get the lead back while they can. That's going to go back out to center ice. And Brown looking to put that in. He's going to get up to Bull. He slips his man. Bull back looking for Brown on that. That deflection almost worked out. Hodge is going to have to track this down because it's a power play. He goes and gets it. 5-on-4 for another 30 seconds. And the Red Devils are going to try to get at least one more offensive opportunity here. Bull has it. That's deflected early, and Fontaine has it as he's trying to hold some time. Upended a little bit. Goes to Dalmato in the corner, though, with a heavy forecheck for the Swarm. 6 seconds to go. That goes out to center ice. Dodwell passes it to Fontaine directly because he wasn't looking that direction, and that kills both penalties for the Swarm. They get away with one and kill a 5-on-3, a big turning point in this game. Fontaine rips one and gets a face-off, and I think that was all that was intended there, was to stop play. And I think both teams are a little bit gassed at the moment. Can't blame the Swarm players. Playing a lot of defense there, but the Red Devils skating up and down the ice quite a bit for that, never really getting too set in that power play and not getting much of an opportunity with it. And all of that skating and all that activity, and we are still 2-2 with 10.5 to go this afternoon's regulation contest. That puck stays at neutral, collected by Esposito. Back to Brown. Brown moves forward, passes it up to the corner to Hunt. Hunt leaves it. Orr gets knocked around, pinballed into the corner, but holds on to the puck pretty well. Hunt goes and chases down the puck. And a no-look connection by Johnson, but goes off the stick, goes back to Brown, and the Red Devils collect. That doesn't clear the zone. Dalmato left alone for a moment. Almost skates one by the kind of a slider of a pass shot there. Not exactly a slap pass, but not exactly lacking danger, but that comes out of the zone. Esposito with it. Heads up and sends it around to Orr. He gets there first. And that puck's knocked back out by Dalmato. Another good shift by him. Tipped forward. Orr trying to dig at it, but it's coming around the other direction. Kozak with a lane. He takes a shot and goal. Kozak pays it off. Makes it 3-2. And as he comes in off that left side, a defensive confusion by the Red Devils leaves him a lane, and he buries it. 3-2 the score. And by the way, it was Polozov. It was Polozov that had the one score in the shootout yesterday. But Kozak celebrating with a lead. It is now 3-2 for the Swarm. 9:12 to go, and the Red Devils need to dig themselves out of a hole here. This is the first time the Red Devils have trailed this weekend. Atwell coming down the right side. It's a weird thing to say given that they did not win yesterday, but they haven't trailed up until this point. Meisternock with the puck, then it goes out to Kaluzny. Passed forward up to Dodwell. Dodwell looking to do something with it. He whiffs on that pass, gives it to Fontaine. Fontaine holds it, moves around. Nichols looking for a centering pass. That doesn't get through. Turned around. Meisternock skating 3-on-2, looking to do something here. Gets it, tries to get it to Dodwell, but that's turned around. And that's just going to leave another 2-on-2. McDonald taking the shot. Marcus getting the physical nature of that one. And Tappan holds on to it. Red Devils to clear here. Flipped up in the air. Ryan McDonald chasing that down. Smashed into the board there. That Dodwell's chucked around like an unbalanced person would be. As he was kind of picked up there, and then Parr plays it behind his net back to Ryan McDonald. He's holding that puck. Red Devils waiting for them to make the first move. Dallimore up on them as much as he can. Johnson missing the puck there. Then goes to Vortinov, back to Johnson, sending it around the boards. Tappan with it, makes a quick move left and right, and sends it to Brown. Brown moves it out, gets it to neutral. Sandoy with it. That's knocked down with a mid-level stick. DePolozov played it himself. Tappan with it. Goes around to the far point, sent back around. Polozov again. Polozov playing it through the corner, goes back to the point. Sandoy with a long wrister. Hits glass, stays in. Polozov with it. Back to Sandoy to Simon. Simon takes a shot, blocker save. And that goes out to center ice. Kozak coming over the boards. But that's it. And as they looked across again, that one was dangerous as Dalmato looked at it. Couldn't really stuff it home. 3-2 the score still. The Red Devils down 1 and looking for that elusive offense. Simon with it. Orr's got it. Orr and Esposito on the ice. Orr with a hard shot into the corner. Stays in. Meisternock hits it and hits the roof. Comes out of play. And that's another trash can. The Monday off, most of us anyways, and that will be quite enjoyable. Hopefully the boys take some golf on and rest up where they can, as they've earned it. That puck goes out to past Atwell. Meisternock held up, avoiding an interference call. Smart move. Goes to Esposito. Esposito passes. And now we have a bit of a breakout. Hunt with it. Hunt trying to cross it back to Esposito, but his stick was lifted. And that comes just as quickly back to the Swarm. That puck sits on the blue line for a minute. McDonald with it looking for a pass. That just hits the board harmlessly, but stays in the zone for the Swarm. Meisternock again. That does go out to center. Fontaine takes it right back in. He takes a wrister. Blocker save off to the side. Hunt's got it. He's moving it, try to get to Esposito, but he didn't get all the purchase on that pass. That's sent forward, and Johnson was cherry picking, got by, but could not hold on to that pass on the tape. He was in a perfect position. In another situation where somebody splits two defenders of the Red Devils. Doesn't pay off. That is onside, pass through, trying to get it to Dallimore. He can't hold on to it. Puck flips up in the air. Dallimore chases it. Kaluzny runs that down. Brown keeps it in at the point. He holds that puck. Shot. Blocker save. That goes up into the netting behind and a stop in play. A good offensive option for the Red Devils there. Just not close enough to bury that one, but looking better. And with 4:42 to go, a little bit of urgency has settled in over the Red Devils camp, as they need to get this third goal to move it to overtime. Kaluzny loses that face-off to Simon. Simon knocked into the boards. And now there's a penalty. Not sure what's going on with that later call. They hold on to it. The Swarm have the puck, so it's clearly on the Red Devils. Parr off the ice. Kaluzny touches up here, and that stops it. I don't know if I got anything on there. We'll see the arm raised later. Yeah, not sure if that was the original play into the board or not. We'll see what the announcer says here. I didn't catch the signal. But it's going to be 2 minutes against the Red Devils here with just 4:18 to go. So they have a lot of work to do with a 5-on-4 and then 2 minutes after that, which you'll probably, if they survive the penalty, you'll see Tim Carey coming out. We'll let you know when that happens. Parr plays this one. That goes into Polozov. Polozov looking around. Tripping on Mason Reese is the call. Polozov with a shot. That goes to the side. Blocked aside by Carey. Out in front again. That is a trip. That's going to erase the Swarm's penalty. That's a big deal. Mr. Atwell that was clearly unintentional as he's trying to score there, but he upended Meisternock, and that was that. Or, sorry, Tappan, I think is who he took out. Anyway, well, either way, it was a clear trip. And we go to 4-on-4, which is important. It'll be a 35-second power play after that. Esposito to take this. Trying to back off some of the Swarm players. And the Red Devils. Everybody having a hard time seeing the markings on the ice, apparently. Fontaine with it. 4-on-4 we go. He skates to the corner, then looks to pass back to Sandoy. Sandoy gives it back to Fontaine. He rips one, but from a tough angle. Goes to the side. That was Vortnoff sending it around the corner, I think it was. Esposito with it now to Orr. And kind of same as a 3-on-3, everybody kind of just backs off with this 4-on-4. Or trying to get it to Esposito, but Vortnoff throwing it right back in. Fontaine with a rip. That comes off Carey. And Nichols having a hard time getting that puck off of his stick for a moment there. Everybody falls over, and Orr's got it. 3 minutes to go. That pass forward up to Esposito up the right side. That hits Parr and bounces up. That was everybody kind of caught napping, and Esposito in the right spot was found. And a good chance for him as he runs up that right side. But no goal yet, and still a 1-goal lead by the Botany Swarm. Bull to take this face-off for the Devils against Dalmato. Everybody paranoid that everyone's either in or out of the face-off circle. That goes back to Brown. Brown pushes it forward into the corner. Polozov knocks it away, but not out of the zone. It goes around. Dallamore's going to try to chase this down, but Ruzika's there first. That goes back to Bull. Bull with a pass across to Tappan. Tappin's pass was interrupted. And Brown leaves it behind. Brings it in onside. And then we've got Reese coming off the ice as Hunt comes out for the shortened power play. 30 seconds or so to go on 26. Now you can see it there on the screen, right? So that gets thrown all the way down. That is not icing because they are on the power play, but the Red Devils are not going to have much time to do anything with it. We're going to watch Tim Carey to see when he comes out. It is 1:53. Given the ice and the space and everything, that's an offsides call, by the way. The Red Devils coming in. They don't like pulling the goalie too early like you'd see in the NHL because of the length of the ice. But Tim Carey will be itching to get off the ice probably when the penalty ends so that there's no free shots with the icing that would happen otherwise. But 5-on-4 is still the case for another 9 seconds. And the Red Devils have just under 2 minutes to push this one to overtime again this weekend, which will be key for them. And to maybe get a split for the weekend's efforts. Fontaine with it, coming up, knocked away, kicked away by Carey. Meisternock with it. Passed around to Joe Orr. He's got it, passes it across the ice. And the Red Devils being left in their defensive third for a while here. It's taking them a little bit to get set up. Carey still looking at it. 1:17 to go. They're not pulling him yet. He is looking at the bench, but the Red Devils have to get something going on the other end of the ice here with 1 minute to go before they pull him. And Esposito has it. He's coming off now. Tim Carey off the ice. They're going to go 6-on-5. Reese skating in there as quickly as he can. He's going to get to the corner and get to the puck quickly. That's going to hold it in the zone. And then a flip all the way to the other side. That's going to go for icing. Kozak asking for it to be deflected. The Red Devils bench asking for timeout here, as that will, well, they've got to keep the same 4 players out there, or 5 players out there anyhow for the Swarm. Quick discussion here, but Nichols having a discussion with Ryan Cairn for the referee there for a moment. Timeout for the Red Devils. So 40 seconds to go. They may change the clock there. So that running clock that you'll see there is the timeout countdown. So it's not a running clock today. That was a bit of a controversy yesterday. It was a running clock during the overtime. I don't think that's going to happen today if it does get to overtime. But 40 seconds is what's remaining, and Nick Stefanisson excuse me, I always do that. Nick is drawing up a play for the Red Devils here with 40 seconds to go. And they're trying to strategize their way into an overtime this afternoon. The Swarm, a little bit more casual about this. I think they pretty much know what they need to do. Tim Carey not expected to go back out. He's going to stay on the bench here. 6 players out for the Red Devils. Six scoring players, no goalie. And we're going to see the last 40 seconds. This will be a good finish for the Red Devils. They need to get one back here to force an overtime. And that goes all the way down the ice. That they are waving off the icing now. No, that is stopped. The referee overruled that one. And the linesman, they're going to have a discussion about this one, of course, but that was icing. And we'll do it again, but with only 30.5 seconds to go. That puck won by the Red Devils. Off to Esposito. He's going to take a shot. Ripped one, and that's rebounded back. The Swarm throw it out. Tappan with it. Tappan passes. Leaves it for Esposito. Now Brown, they've got 15 seconds to go here. Hunt with it. They got to do something with it quickly. Simon's got the puck. They're going to send it around, and this might cause the whole thing to go. That is an icing call. Oh, they called that tipped again. And that one was, well, let's just say there is nobody happy with that one, as that was called a tipped pass, no icing. And the referees didn't fix that one. Well, assuming that was an incorrect call. That doesn't necessarily mean it was. I don't think it was. But the Red Devils unhappy about that one as they lose this afternoon's contest 3-2. The coaching staff still really upset with not knowing why that was called. But nonetheless, that is the result of the game. Thank you, everybody, for checking it out this weekend. No other game to go to the Friday-Saturday series. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make sure that you can see that there's games next weekend, of course. The Red Devils on the road. They're up in Auckland to face the Botany Swarm's crosstown rivals, the West Auckland Admirals. And then there's the 3v3 Super Showdown. 3 versus 3 tournament will happen in Queenstown. And if you are in the area, please come check one of the 3 sessions out. There's a Friday night, Saturday morning, and Saturday night for this. It's basically an all-star event is what it comes down to. All 6 teams playing in that tournament, which means the Mako will be made up of the appropriate players. And we're looking forward to bringing it to you on the broadcast as well. There's 19 games on the schedule. Each game, I think it's a running clock of 9 minutes, 2 halves, so an 18-minute total. And teams get shuffled in and out just that quickly, and there will be action all weekend in Queenstown, the 14th and 15th of this month. So please come check that out. And I think that's going to do us for this afternoon's proceedings. No overtime today needed. The Swarm got the better of the Red Devils just enough in a tightly contested battle. 3-2 the final score. The Red Devils go down in regulation time defeat to the Botany Swarm. Next games here, and let me see if I can pull that up, the schedule. The next time the Red Devils play a home game, the 29th and 30th of June against the Auckland Mako. Come out and check out the fantastic team that they have. It will officially be an exhibition game. It won't count in the standings, but they are always entertaining games as a mix of youth and experience get brought together to make for an absolutely fantastic weekend of hockey. And then the next official game that counts here in Christchurch will be the 13th and 14th of July against the league-leading Stampede. Although, to be fair, they're now, officially tied because the standings, they'll both be on 11 points now. The Stampede, well, it'll be Botany that will be on top by goal diff, but that's it. It's a tight one, and the Botany Swarm and Sky City Stampede are once again out of the gates quickly in the league play regular season, with the rest of the league looking up. And maybe this will be another one of those years where second and third place are highly contested, or it's third place and the top seed. We'll see. But in the meantime, thanks for joining us this afternoon. The final score here in Christchurch: Botany Swarm 3, Canterbury Red Devils 2. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care, everybody.